Hey! Aw, look at this picture. It's so cute. That's me, Stephen Platinum, with my two kids. You know me, family man, guy who loves pro wrestling. But what you may not have known about me is I am a spork enthusiast. Not a fork, not a spoon, but that thing that is the half breed creation and amalgamation of both a fork and a spoon, a spork. Just like I myself am half Japanese and half Caucasian, I do love a spork. And I came up with an idea and a project that I'm very enthusiastic and excited about because, I haven't taken on enough projects. And so, in order to do that, I need sporks, and I need sporks to experiment upon adding things to, coloring them, seeing if I can manipulate them properly and do what I want to do for this project that I have in my head. And so I went out and I went to the craft store to get a number of things I needed, and I just needed a couple of sporks to practice on. I knew eventually I would get them online. And so I could have enough because I may need 5, 10, a dozen, hundreds, depending on how this project comes out and whether it spawns future projects. So I was like, you know what? No problem. Let's go out and take care of this. So here's where I started. Boom! Went to Target. You'll notice the look on my face. It's not completely upset. It's the look that you have when you don't find the sporks that you want, but you do find the brand of ramen noodle that you loved when you were a kid. And so it's always nice to have those in the house. I could only have one a day, and that's only if I don't have any other carbs with how my diet is right now. But nonetheless, okay. I started at the farthest point away from my house, and I was going to work in. And I thought, if Target doesn't have it, you know who will? KFC, right? I mean, when I thought of it was me driving past a KFC that inspired the idea that I wanted to do because I'm like, Spork. KFC always has sporks, right? Not this one. And that's the look of anguish that you have as a half Asian when you don't get a spork at KFC. You see that face, right? But the good thing is, I was going to pass the biggest Walmart, possibly in Orlando. So surely they'll have it at. No, they don't. No. I asked, I looked in various sections. They had implements to eat with. That weren't a knife, a spoon, or a fork, but they didn't have a spork. They had all kinds of crazy stuff. They didn't have a spork. And at this point, I got a little worried, but then I remember the place where I shop the most is Sam's Club because it's right near my house. And I remember once upon a time seeing the sporks because I almost got them as a joke for a party that I was throwing. So surely the Sam's Club I'm at won't let me. Yeah, they let me down. And that's me actually bemoaning my fate. You can see me like, because I was really counting on that one. And at one point, I thought that they actually had sporks, but it was literally like kind of like two boxes right next to each other where it said spa on the edge of one box and then it had forks on the edge of the other box and they were touching. I should have taken a picture of that. So I thought for a split second it said sporks, and so I was definitely at this point super frustrated. And I was messaging back and forth with a friend of mine and I went, all right, I'm going to go to the second KFC. Certainly they're going to have it there. The other place, I went into these KFCs, by the way, because my whole mission was to get a spork. Now, I bought something just because I felt obligated to, honestly. They were like, oh, I don't know why we don't have sporks. We always have them. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, well, it's okay. I've got a KFC close to my house. Surely they're going to have a... No, they didn't. And you see my face right here, right? At this point, I'm incredibly just done. But then a certain female friend of mine, um, named after a delicious fruit, she suggested that, you know, they probably have sporks at a store that you wouldn't even expect. She's like, you just do a search for sporks near me, see what pops up. And I was like, cool. And it wasn't close to my house, but it was a Lowe's that was maybe like 20 minutes away from me. So I placed an order to get picked up, and I paid for it. And they like apparently had it because they took my order, and then they said they would email me as soon as they had my order ready, that it was really busy today, but they would get to it, and then they would just let me know when it was ready. So I was enthusiastic and I was excited, and my friend said all my discussion about sporks inspired him to put this up, which was the Spork is back. So the Spork is back, and it's on sale at Disney's Hollywood Studios. More specifically, the futuristic Spoon Fork Hybrid is available at Docking Bay 7, food and cargo restaurant in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. The cost, which includes the Spork's travel bag, is $10.99. Disney has placed a limit of one per guest per transaction, and the notation valid while supplies last. The item can be secured via the mobile ordering function on the My Disney Experience app, just like other Docking Bay 7 food. If anybody gets this for me, I will be forever indebted to you. But that's an aside. So, boom, there's the proof that I ordered the thing from Lowe's, and I was super excited, right? And then I noticed, I'm like, you know what? So I took my kids out for our traditional trip to Smoothie King. We go every Friday. So I made sure they were hooked up. They're going to spend the weekend with their mom. So at that point, I bid them adieu. And I was like, you know what? I know the Lowe's where it's going to be. I'm just going to go there. And, you know, and then I did, because I didn't look at that fine print that said estimated ready for pickup Monday, May 10th. So I went there thinking, well, you know, if they've got it on the shelf, I'll just get it right then. And I looked around, and I had people help me, and they said, I don't think we carry that in the store. And I'm like, well, why would it be available for delivery to that store? Why couldn't they just send it to the Lowe's closer to my house if that was the case? I was just confused. But no, they didn't have it. And in fact, when they looked on their computer, they said not only did they not have it, not only would it take a few days to get there, they said the actual estimate of the 10th was way too early, that it would be probably the soonest they would get it is the 12th. Keep in mind, I could have just got it delivered to my house like next day. So my reaction leaving Lowe's was this. Oh my God. So frustrating. So frustrating. But there was a light at the end of the tunnel, because at the end of the day, I was sent this by a fantastic artist. Sent me this version and two others, one of whom is like a transparent version. So, merchandise? What are your thoughts if you have opinions? And, you know, do you have any Spork-related stories? Do you have any suggestions how I can get a hold of that Star Wars Spork? And what kind of merchandise do you think would be awfully cool with this design? Anyway, I just thought this was a little fun video to throw out there. I'm Stephen Platinum, your friend in Sporkling. What?